Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's different maybe in industries where, like industrial industries, where
Hmm.
there's a operational return also.
Yep.
But yeah, I've seen that too. Like one of the topics we were going to talk about was OpenAI and Microsoft, and
Yeah.
that's I think a good version or a good example of the CVC basically investing, or the company itself investing in this partnership where they own, I think, 49%
Yep.
on the outside, to both accelerate OpenAI's growth, but really build out the infrastructure of generative AI and how that's going to work, for Microsoft in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that whole OpenAI, Microsoft, uh, I'll just say drama that has played out over the last couple of weeks. Like I cannot wait for the Netflix version, be it
Yeah,
miniseries or movie, because it's perfect for that. Has been really interesting because, like you said, Microsoft for a while they had invested in building their own AI, and once OpenAI was kind of relatively far, oh, quotes far along, Microsoft also invested, like you said, they're 49% owner. Um, and so it's been very interesting to watch OpenAI, which, founded as a nonprofit. The board, is a nonprofit board. Their role is very much to be stewards of generative AI and kind of help, set the safety parameters, the regulations, the guardrails, all of that, which is very different from a for-profit corporate board.
yeah,
And, you saw that play out when the OpenAI board fired Sam Altman. And then Microsoft was like, whoa, 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 it's 49% owners, like, whoa, no. And then they went to, they hired the two co-founders, and we're about to just hire everybody away from OpenAI. And then, Sam Altman ultimately is invited and chooses to go back
yeah,
to OpenAI. And like, so it it's this very interesting set of, I think, dynamics around, nonprofit versus for-profit, stewards versus, corporate board, the freedom to create, which OpenAI offers. Microsoft, even though they would, I'm willing to bet, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet, even though they would have probably let Altman and the team develop AI separately, there would still be eventually, bridges in, metrics in. Eventually, there would be a Microsoftization,
yeah.
um, that's, staying totally separate prevents. So it's a very interesting. It's been very interesting to watch it play out, and all of the different dynamics and questions and answers that kind of the whole drama revealed.
Yeah, that the company started as a nonprofit and
Yeah.
now is a profit, I guess, profit seeking organization. It really, it's kind of like that cultural push pull, because you still have, like you said, the board members that were associated with that foundation of, we're developing AI for this nonprofit element. But then we became a for-profit that is in partnership with one of the biggest for-profit companies in the world. And
Mhm.
it's, like you said, I think it will be a good drama, someday, a TV drama, because it
Yeah.
does have, I'm not going to say good versus evil, but it has like that paradigm between two sides that are almost opposed to each other in their foundations, really going
Mhm.
at it. And then, I mean, the prophet went out, so he's
Yeah.
back, and I think most of the board is gone, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was really interesting seeing that how quick it operated. He was out. I'm sure he called Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and they were, I would say, probably pretty irate.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But, and then having what 90% of the employees basically admit that the profit seeking motives of AI are what keeps it running, and how that's needed to basically go forward with it. It's pretty exciting. So
yeah, no, it was very exciting, and I mean, I could see how it could be turned into a story of good versus evil. We're not there yet, but especially this idea of the nonprofit board versus Microsoft, which Microsoft has probably been in some sort of lawsuit, regulatory, jailhouse, kind of shame on you court system, something for like the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And so kind of being at the dawn of this new radical technology, ultimately it will get regulated. Everything eventually does. And this recognition of like, well, we can regulate ourselves, which I think was probably the intent of forming the nonprofit board in the first place. And if we don't regulate ourselves, the government will ultimately step in, and we don't want that. But then you have Microsoft, who owns 49% of a very, very, very big startup, being like, we want a return on our investment. So
totally.
The story is not done. I think we've gone through the opening chapter.
Yeah.
But it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out, because it surfaces a lot of really important questions that go beyond just AI or just technology, that really go into kind of business, innovation, government, and on from there.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, because I'm sure Microsoft appreciates the fact that it's an external startup, because it removes some of that corporate governance risk on developing it in-house. And so it was a little weird scenario, but I'm sure everybody's happy with how it turned out, except for the board members that are gone.
I say except for the board members, but no, I definitely, it definitely seems like folks are happy, and it will be interesting to see, because the questions around ethical use of AI, ethical development of AI, all the risks, those questions aren't resolved, and those we'll keep adding to those questions. So it'll be interesting to see how those evolve as well.